Confession of the Elements. I do not know which voice spoke first. Perhaps it was the wind moving through the broken rafters of an abandoned barn, or the slow shifting of the soil beneath my boots. Perhaps it was the quiet lapping of water against the shoreline that carried the first whisper. Or maybe it was the fire in my small camp stove that leaned toward me as though it had something to say. All I know is that one night the elements confessed, and once you hear them, you cannot unhear them. I will write what they told me so their warnings are not lost. The ground beneath my feet trembled softly, as if it had been holding its breath for centuries. Then the earth spoke, not with anger, but with the heavy patience of something older than memory. You walk upon me as though I belong to you, it said. You carve your borders into my skin, bury your poisons in my soil, and call yourselves masters of land you did not create. The soil shifted slightly, and I suddenly understood something terrible and humbling. The earth was not fragile. We were. I have swallowed mountains, Earth continued. I have buried entire civilizations that once believed they were eternal. Cities crumble. Empires fade. Forests return where palaces once stood. You think you are harming me, the Earth said quietly, but you are only deciding how long your own stories will last. Then came the warning. Remember this. I am patient, but I am not passive. Treat the ground beneath you with respect, or one day you will discover how quickly it can shake you loose. The wind picked up suddenly, swirling dust and leaves around me like restless spirits. The voice of air was restless, moving, impossible to see yet impossible to escape. You breathe me every moment of your life, it whispered, yet you have forgotten I exist. The wind rushed through the trees with a low howl. I have carried your ships across oceans and your seeds across continents. I have lifted birds and cooled deserts and shaped the weather that feeds your crops. Then the air grew heavy. But you have filled me with smoke, poison, and noise. Still I move. Still I carry life. The wind brushed my face gently. Remember this warning, air said. You cannot see me, yet I sustain every breath you take. The moment I change, your world changes with me. Then the wind rose sharply. Do not forget the invisible forces that keep you alive. The lake beside me moved with a deep, slow rhythm, like the breathing of a sleeping giant. Then the water spoke. Its voice sounded ancient, like rain falling across centuries. You were born from me, it said. Before you ever opened your eyes, you floated in water. A wave touched the shore. I carve canyons through mountains. I carry life through rivers and blood through your veins. But the water darkened slightly as clouds moved across the moon. Yet you waste me. You poison me. You pretend I will always be there. A quiet splash echoed across the surface. Listen carefully, water warned. Civilizations do not collapse because they run out of gold. They collapse when they run out of water. The lake became still again. Respect the rivers. Protect the springs. For when I leave a place, life leaves with me. The last voice came from the smallest source, the flame dancing in my camp stove. It flickered wildly for a moment before settling into a steady glow. I am the youngest of us, fire said with a crackle, but I am the one you fear the most. The flame stretched upward. You stole me from lightning and learned to shape the world with me. With my heat you forged tools, built cities, and warmed yourselves against the dark. The flame pulsed brighter. But remember this truth. I do not belong to you. For a moment the fire grew tall and sharp. Treat me with care, and I will give you warmth, light, and life. Treat me with arrogance, and I will take forests, homes, and entire landscapes. The flame lowered again. I am creation and destruction in the same breath. As the night grew silent again, I realized something that chilled me more than any ghost story ever could. The elements were not angry. They were reminding us. Earth, air, water, and fire have endured for billions of years. They will endure for billions more. But the comfort of our cities, the balance of our climate, the delicate systems that allow human civilization to exist, those things are temporary, fragile, conditional. Before the voices faded completely, all four seemed to speak at once. Remember who you share this world with. Respect the forces that made your existence possible. And never forget, the elements do not need humanity to survive. But humanity cannot survive without the elements. So I write this confession now for anyone willing to listen. Because the earth is still speaking. The wind is still warning. The waters are still remembering. And the fire is still watching. The question is not whether the elements will endure. The question is whether we will learn in time to endure with them.